Hi, I'm Ben. Now this tape this is a tool I put together maybe about a year ago or so, but I want to make it into a more useful tool for the lathe. So I have a bit of work to do to it and a bit of adding to do to it. I'm enjoying my coffee. Now this is a new coffee my daughter got me. It's very, very nice. Now this is the tool I put together. I want to turn it into a useful tool that I can use on the lathe. There's no call for the gear wheel, but they handle a bit further up and do a bit more to it. And this is another tool that I made 2-3 years ago. I have used it a few times. I still want to be able to use it, but I'm going to have to attach this to it, raise it up, now I will show what means I need. This is it. Now I need this. This is the tool. I need to shim it a bit. It needs slightly shimmed. I'll try this. Perfect. Look at that. Perfect. Look at that. That's very acceptable. That's nice. Now for what I have in mind, I need a lot of stripping at this to get it all set up. Start stripping it. That will not be in use. I'd have to turn this down to suit my hand wheel. Now I would prefer to take it off the wee shaft than drill a bigger hole, for I want to keep it as tight as possible. So now this is the tool I was working on, lined up. I was hoping to use this for threading any jobs, but I'm thinking of changing this and making it longer, possibly a spring. Now this, I was going to put this in, but I decided I have washers of spacers, so I'm thinking of changing this whole arm, but I want to maybe put a Morse 2 on it, that I can use a larger chuck maybe for other jobs. Now these is maybe a bit rough looking, but I get it sorted out. I may change this for a nice piece and change the whole lot, but I've got these out of my scrap box just to get it going. But as I say now, I want to use a longer piece. I don't know yet how long, but possibly maybe a spring loaded, and it shows I can top with tops for work held in the lathe, or maybe some other jobs, maybe ream or whatever. So let's get going. Now I have this done. This is from here about 8 inches, maybe a bit on the long side. I want to see what spring I can get first before I cut it. I have this turned down here. I need maybe a bit more of it for my hand wheel, but I have to clean it up with a bit of sandpaper. I think this is the thickness I want with this, but as I say, it may be a bit on the long side. I'll see what springs I can get first. There should be enough on this to let me Morse 2 taper. Now this is 1905. .74 should be enough on that for allow me to Morse 2 taper and for to carry a larger chuck. But as I say, I may have to cut this yet. There's a couple of hardware stores local. I'll have to try them and see what spring. I have a lot of springs of my own, but none suitable for this. The closest I can get is, if I can't get another, I may use this. I want something nice and flexible. We'll see what I can pack up. Now, I'm just finishing my coffee. Now, these are the two tools that I had made that I used for the lathe. This little tool came in handy too, and this. I've used this a couple of times, so if I ever need this, one screw and it's off. I was going to use this is the one I had made, use this, but as I say, the longer one with the spring, the hand wheel for it, larger chuck with a Morse 2 taper. So that's, so far so good. Now I have it drilled right through, and I'm turning this down ½ inch to suit my hand wheel. Now the reason for drilling it right through is because on the other side it will give me a decent chance to cut the Morse taper. Plus I'll not be able to put an eye in it, so any tool that may get jammed or whatever, a small brass rod down here on the top will knock it out. Now I have cut this much off it, 2½ inches shorter, which I've come up with another idea. I'll use my original spring that I have and start to get it worked out. I'm turning this down ½ inch to suit my hand wheel. So let's get turning. That should be it. That's about 2/10 of a thigh over. I would think that would do. I'll clean it with a bit of emery. Now I'm changed the whole aspect. I'm not using this one. I'm using this one now. I have another idea of using this, and I will show it. I want to put a Morse 2 taper down through here. I have drilled right through. Now the reason I used this bush that was in this originally, I turned it down for the suit and I got it lovely and true. But the reason being, now this is the original bush that was in it. I had it turned down and all to suit, and it done a nice fit. But the reason I cannot use it now, when I was pressing it home, it all split. So I have to make a new bush. Now this is the new bush I'm going to make brass. It was a bit I have in a scrap box, a brass scrap box, and it's the right size. I'm going to put a series of drills down through it for to do the. I run a series of drills down through it, bring it up I might run a 3/4 drill for to suit the shaft, or a 3/4 end mill. I'll have a look at my reamers. I may have a 3/4 reamer. So I'll get started drilling. Now this shaft is exactly 3/4. That's why with the drills I want to use, I'll check it to see, I want to keep it a nice tight fit, smooth fit. Now I'm going to start drilling. I will drill now, but I will drill most of them off camera until almost the last one, for I have about 3-4 drills to do. I'm drilling without oil for brass. I let that go until the last drill. Now I have it drilled to 47/64 to 7344 thou, but I'm doing it with an end mill. The closest reamer I have is a 19 mil, and that's a few thou smaller, but I want it to be a nice running fit. So I'm doing it with a 3/4 end mill. I'm not going too hard on it. I want it to be a nice 3/4 as possible. If I rush it, it might move it and make it a wee bit on the upside. should be coming through any that's it. I'm not rushing it. I've only had about 20, less than 20 thou to bring it up to the 3/4. Now wait till I try. Right. Oh yes, what about that? Not a movement on it. Look at that. Very pleased with that. Yes, that pleases me now. Now I have to turn this down 900 thou for to go into my upright. The last one I put in split when I was pressing it home, so I'll have to be a bit more gentle with this one and turn it down 900 thou. I use my old original vernier sometimes. This is the very first one I ever got. Need this 875 reduced to. I've taken a small cut to start with. Eight 50 deep. Now this should be it. This should be the final cut. I changed the tip. I have a tip on it this time. The cutting tool. So this should be it. Give it a wee clean with emery. I want to I'm topping it home this time with a soft hammer, but there's no way this is going to split anyway, but I'll have to try now. I'll have to try around with my spring verse. That's the side it's going in for him. Yes, that's what I'm after. Look at that, not a movement on it. Look at that. Nice. Now, this is my taper I'm doing. I'm hoping this is the last cut. Knock it off. I'm hoping this is the last cut. I doing that cut for it was a slow process. I wanted to take my time at it. I was afraid of doing this something wrong for them to have to make the whole thing all over again. So I will try that, and I may have another cut to do. I don't know yet. I'm oh yes, yes. Can't complain at that. Now this is a very old tool I was using. I got 3 of these tools given to me a long time ago, and I mean about 30 years ago. This is the last one of them left. I was using this for a parting off tool. So I sharpened this to do it. It done the job nicely. Now this is what I mean tight. Now, this is the reason I drilled it. This is where the brass rod comes into being. Nice one. Yes. Now, that spring turns nice and free, not a movement on it. The hand wheels be going on. Yes. Not a movement, that's nice, that's what I like. Here's a handy tool I put together for the mic, holding my mic. I was using both mics. Yes, and here's another handy tool, just to have handy. And there's a tool I have a long time for my ice grips. I have a bit more work to do to it yet. This is the completed. I haven't tried it yet. I'll put it on my machine. This is the free movement I have. I will show the purpose I want for the spring, etc. I'm going to put Morse 2 so we will try it on the lathe now. See how it matches up, trues up. Right. Just gently does it. Yes, looks good. Now that pleases me. Yes, as I say, that's the free movement. Look at that, not a movement in it, nice and true. Yes, now that pleases me. Right. This is it, set up in place. It won't move, that's it. Now, putting on a top to thread it. Now the spring, as you see, the spring just keeps it in line, not too tight, not just keeps the tension on the top. Right, just spot of oil, threading, and that. Now I have the extra length for if it's a long top, or if I'm reaming, I can nice one, look at that. I'll do one on reaming on another tip just to show. It keeps the top nice and true. The spring keeps that little bit of tension on the top. It's a 10mm top. 10mm. Look, it keeps it nice and true. Look at that. You cannot be bad to that. Now, that is another accessory I have put together. Hopefully it'll come in handy from time to time. I was going to use this one, little short. There's some critter in trouble. I was going to use it, but I thought this was too short and narrow, so I made this. They give me this extra for when I'm reaming or whatever, long tops. I hope some of you have found this of interest. It may come in handy for some of you that does a lot of threading, etc. on the lathe. I want to thank you for watching my tips. Thank you for the like buttons. Go to my website, Benny Martyr. Thank you for watching. I hope you have found this of interest. This is my new accessory.